Okay, here we have page 175, which is the practice and homework for 3.6. I'm going to try to go through this quickly. Remember, you can start and stop the tape as needed. Jamie scored -5 points on her turn at a trivia game. In Veronica's turn, she scored more points than Jamie. Use absolute value to describe Veronica's score as a loss. Okay, so in this situation, -5 represents a loss of 5 points. Veronica lost fewer than 5 points. Okay, so we're expressing it in words as a loss. Okay. Number 2, the low temperature on Friday was -10 degrees. The low temperature on Saturday was colder. Use absolute value to describe the temperature on Saturday as a temperature below 0. So in other words, they're saying the temperature down here is -10 degrees. It's colder. So Saturday is going to be down here somewhere in this area. Okay. The temperature on Saturday was colder than 10 degrees below 0. Colder. You could also say more than 10 degrees below 0. More than 10 degrees below 0. The table shows changes in the savings accounts of 5 students. Which student had the greatest increase in money? By how much did the student's account increase? So these are negative. So this is a drop, not an increase. That's a decrease. These two had an increase. It went up. So Carissa had the greatest increase. Rylan had an increase, but less. So it says here, the second part, how much did students increase? By how much did the student's account increase? So it increased by $15, a $15 increase. Okay, back to comparing. Remember, we talked about that in the very beginning. So this is -16. So that stays as -16, but this absolute value of becomes 16. So -16 is less than the absolute value of -16. This stays 20 because there's no absolute value sign. This is the absolute value of 20, which is 20. 3, absolute value of -4 is +4. Oh, by the way, this is equal. This is 3 is less than 4. The absolute value sign means it's equal to 4. On Wednesday night, Miguel's bank account balance was -55. On Thursday, his balance was less than that. Use absolute value to describe Miguel's balance on Thursday as a debt. In this situation, -55 represents a debt of $55. On Thursday, Miguel had a debt of more than $55. So he could have had -65, -56. It was more than that because his balance was less than even -55, so it went down. During a game, Naomi lost points. She lost fewer than 3 points. So use an integer to describe her possible score. So she could have lost, if you think of a number line, she lost 3. Fewer than that would be she lost 2, 1, 0, maybe negatives, I don't know, but maybe she lost 2 points. That's fewer than 3. This is what she lost. She lost fewer than that. Okay, next, give 2 numbers that fit the description. A number is less than another number, but has a greater absolute value. So a number is less than another number. So what about a -3? That's less than 2, right? -3 is less than 2. However, the absolute value of -3 is 3, which is greater than 2. Next page, page 176, the homework. A temperature of -6 is colder than a temperature of 5 below 0. Is this statement true or false? This statement is definitely true. It's colder. Okay, it's lower. -5, -6, up here's 0. It's colder. Long Beach, California has an elevation of -7 feet. New Orleans, Louisiana is 8 feet below sea level. Which has a lower elevation? So if we go down, here's Long Beach at -7. Here's New Orleans at 8 feet below, which is like saying -8. So the answer would be New Orleans is lower. Okay, let's try some of these, even though we haven't done all this stuff. Dawn and Lynn took off skateboards from the same location, but traveled in opposite directions. After 20 minutes, Dawn had traveled 6.42 kilometers and Lynn had traveled 7.7. How far apart were they? So really, they're starting right here. And Dawn went 6.42 this way. Lynn went 7.7 that way. So we need to find the total. So I'm going to add 6.42 plus 7.7. This is adding decimals. 11 carry the 1. That's 14.12. That's how far apart they were. This total here is 14.12 kilometers. Number 4, Rico and Josh took off on skateboards going in the same direction. Rico, Josh. Okay, so Rico went 5.98. Josh went 8.2. How far apart were they? So we're looking for this right here. That's a subtraction. I take 8.2, I minus 5.98. Put my 0 there, regroup. 10 minus 8 is 2. Regroup. 11 minus 9 is 2. 7 minus 5 is 2. So they're 2.22 kilometers apart. This is that difference right here. 2.22. Okay, Ida bought 11.5 yards of fabric for 0.98 per yard. What was the total cost? So you would set this up. You have 11.5 yards. You're going to multiply it times 0.9. Okay, 45, 13, 10, 1, 2, 1, 2, $10, 35 cents. Your calculator, again calculates a product of 5/8 times 4/25 before he multiplies. Before he multiplies, he simplifies all factors. What does the problem look like after he simplifies the factors? So when I do 5/8 times 24 over 25 and cross cancel 5 and 25, that becomes a 1. That's a 5. That becomes a 1. That becomes a 3. So it simply looks like that. 1 over 1 times 3 over 5. You don't even have to solve it. But they want to see that you can cross cancel.